What is up, guys? We are live here with Pro Play Games, and this is the free version of the deck featured on the Team Foe YouTube channel. If you guys haven't subscribed, please make sure to subscribe. We will be doing a full breakdown and much more in-depth analysis, as well as a tournament report over on the PPG Patreon. So if you guys want to go and subscribe there, you'll be unlocking tons of content there. We have some of the best players in the game producing content almost on the daily for the most part. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Android 16, this is what I used to secure a top 16 finish. I got 11th exactly. Should have, I think, been a top 8. I think one of my last opponents ended up 7th, and we were able to be up paired to him the final round and win. But I guess some of the other tiebreakers weren't as strong. My only losses were 2nd place, First Go playing Soul Striker, and I believe 5th place, Namvo playing a hyper-aggressive Majin Vegeta deck. So those were my only 2 losses in the tournament. I believe there was 8 rounds, so we finished X2, and every other, obviously match was a well-deserved win. It was pretty good. All my opponents were they knew what they were doing, and they were all competitive decks, minus the first deck that I played, which was Pycoon. He was just there for fun. But anyways, Android 16, he negates the energy exhaust on all arrival Android 16s only, I believe. So he lets you play check lands without having to play check lands, which is incredibly, I think, overlooked. I think being able to just not have to play tap lands is pretty awesome. When he attacks, draw 2. So that's the only way that this leader draws. It doesn't draw at all on the backside. So normally you want to stay on the front side as much as possible. It has an alternate awaken. You're either at 4 or less, or if the energy between you and your opponent is 5. So if you resolve like a ramp on turn 2, then you can awaken turn 2. Or if you go 2nd or whatever, you charge a 2, your opponent charges a 3, you can awaken on that turn. His awaken is untap 1, draw 1, so nothing super spectacular or anything like that. The backside does not draw, but he does give you the ability to have a free super combo every turn, essentially. Or one's on your turn, one's on your opponent's turn. So you get a free 10k on offense and defense, as long as you have a blue-green multicolor card in your drop, and which is why you really can't play too many overwhelms in this deck, because you need at least one of those cards in your drop to be relevant. And then you can also arrival from your energy. So you can, if you have arrival cards in your energy, this is not limited to Android 16s. You can play other arrival cards in your energy. You can go ahead and activate and play them from your energy. And why would you want to do that? Because he will replace that card with the top card of your deck and your energy tapped. So you don't really lose out on anything. I'll explain in what matchups you want to do that, and some matchups that you just want to avoid that because it's really bad. Alright, let's get into the unisons. Like I said, guys, it's not going to be too much explanation here. It's just going to be going over a deck list. If you guys want to see the explanations, make sure you check out the Patreon. 3 Raditz unison. This guy was really good. I like him because he's a 3 cost, and he does what you need to do early game. He also gives you the draw, which you don't have in the backside, for the +0. Then 2 Gotenks. I like 5 unisons in the deck. It worked pretty well. I didn't resolve this one at all, but there in some matchups, this card is an absolute blowout, and it's just an overall very strong unison. And both of them have blocker, which is great. Then for the super combos, we play 4 Android 18 Bionic Blitz. I mean, it's an Android deck, right? You need the arrival, and then it pairs with the hand destruction pretty well. And then the Android 18 Speedy Substitute. She's pretty good at making sure that you find your arrival on turn 2, or sorry, your ramp on turn 2. And it gives you the flexibility of swapping out your energy, which we know is pretty good, especially in blue decks when you have to like charge awkwardly for the first couple turns. Only 3D magics. The space was tight, so we played 3D magics. Also, we expected a lot of people to just be hedging against like baby, so they play the silver bullets, and D magic obviously is not very good against those silver bullets. 3 Senzu Bean, which I probably would have liked to see at 4. We're already playing 51. A deck like this, even if it's best of 1, you just want to maximize your chances of seeing this boy right here. So we don't want to play too many over 50. Seeing this on turn 2 is pretty important. I'm not going to say that you lose if you don't see it, but it is a little bit tougher. You could always see him on turn 3 also, but like ideally you just want to see him on 2. You don't do anything turn 1 in this deck. Turn 2 is that, and then turn 3 is, you know, you can go Unison or Android 18 right here. This is kind of like a draw monkey, but except it has a body. It's one more energy, but you know, you get a body. There's also an Android that you can discard to the front side to draw 2, because you do need to discard on the front side to draw 2. Pitch 1, draw 2, but it has to be Android. 3 Heroic Prospect, because it's just the best negate blue has next to D-Magic. Arguably maybe better at times, because it stops the onslaught. Android 21, the Beautiful Scientist. She's just an Android 21 name. We played a few Android 21 names just to have a lot of options off the Arrival. Android 21, Destructive Villain. I'll explain why we played this card. It is a funky one, but it does work out for the matchups that we needed to hedge against, which are some of its tougher ones, which, like I said, we go in detail on the Patreon. Android 18, Full of Rage. I was gonna cut her. I'm glad I didn't, because she produces some pretty sick plays. She's also an Android, but she is one that will come in tapped if you charge her. So that's the only unfortunate part. Because she's not an Android 16 name, her energy exhaust isn't negated. We play Piccolo, Assimilated Ability, 2 of. Also a good, I'm glad to be playing that card again, let's just say that. Android 21, A Bad Omen, of course, arguably the best Android 21. Triple God Sealing Technique. Like I said, something that justifiably can be 4. But because the deck draws a lot and we wanted to just maximize our consistency with the numbers, we're playing 3. And then these are your free play energies, or the ones that don't ignore energy exhaust in the deck. It's this Android 16, which comes out for 2. He has dual attack, Block of Revenge, which is pretty cool. On play, your opponent discards a card. That's the only one that you're ever going to be using. And then the 7-drop, same thing, comes into play without energy exhaust in your energy. And you just normally want to have these 2 cards in your energy just so that you always have options. This one arrivals for 4 instead of 2. It's a little bit more expensive, but it does give you another body and options on your Android 21 searches and summons. And then, of course, we play Android 17 and 18. This is how you close out the game. These 4 cards we're going to play to close out the game. Those 2 and then another 2. This has Deflect, so that's pretty good in the blue matchups where they're just holding up God Sealing or anything that you're super scared of. The only downside to this card is that it has to attack. So, for the really good ability. Flew the Dark Banisher, we just play 1 Overwhelm, and we chose to play the best one. Because you're ramping, this card can come down as early as turn 3 instead of turn 4. So that's pretty good. And then, of course, Baby Hatch. You know, you're a blue leader, so it's pretty obvious what blue secret you play in this deck. And it's Baby Hatch. Just very good. I mean, it's a defensive thing so that you can get to your turn and then hopefully pop off. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's the deck list. If you guys, like I said, want to go over, you know, why we chose certain cards over others, what the matchups were like, what's strong against, what's it weak against, and things that you really would need to take this to a tournament, make sure you guys check out the PPG Patreon. Thanks again for watching the deck profile. Till next time.